You're on.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the City Council meeting. Today is Monday, March 3rd, 2025. It's approximately 1 p.m. I'm Mayor Enriquez. I want to start by mentioning that we have the ASL, American Sign Language Interpreter, available here in the front. If we all stand, we'll start with a moment of silence for the brave men and women of the United States Armed Forces and our local Las Cruces and Fire Department as they keep our city safe 24/7, 365. Councilor Flores, if you'll lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next is presentations and certificates, proclamations. We have no proclamations, but we do have a presentation. No. Okay. Right, we don't have any. We have a presentation, though. Got it. No, that's okay. So Visit Las Cruces shares the beauty of our community with the world by creating visual assets that highlight what makes it so special. This video serves as a reminder that it is the people in our city that make it such a beautiful and welcoming place to live in. Las Cruces, the real New Mexico.
The desert is the greatest teacher. It lectures virtue and speaks of grace. The altitude itself teaches resilience. Roaring winds, firmer footing. The heat, humility. The drought, deeper roots. Impossibly heavy and electric monolithic monsoon structures, thunder, anticipation. An outpour to always expect the good. Desert rain, joy. And while the rushing river brings growth, it's the dry riverbed that guides stillness. Here, the skyline isn't designed, it's formed. Immovable Cenozoic peaks, volcanic. Respect your elders. Regard the small things as well. Coyotes tutor in opportunity, roadrunners decisiveness, rattlers vigilance. Cacti, adaptability, their blossoms and spines duality. The desert's rift-born basins, valleys, sands sing of vastness, permanence, and echo time. Its collective preaches peace. Its sermons, sky, brilliant canvas, ever-changing, unownable vision, uncapturable, tinted, ephemeral spectrum. A fleeting reminder to be present. And the night, each day unraveled by the silent star-strewn velvet inkwell night. The veil lifted between earth and all else. An open room, a cosmic call home. And when you travel farther still, faster still, unknown, otherworldly, stranger still, to see unseen places dared and spaces rare, you carry with you all you've learned from your desertic, ancient home and want nothing more than to return. My name is Jamila, and I flew to space an hour from the street I grew up on in my hometown of Las Cruces.
Again, that video was presented by Visit Las Cruces. Rochelle, thank you, and to your staff, great job. Next is Jobs of the Week, Sarah Rainey. Sarah here.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Mayor. All right, my name is Sarah Rainey. I'm the one-stop coordinator for the Southwest region of America's Job Centers. For this week, we have a survey technician for the city of Las Cruces starting at $21.10 an hour. That one is a continuous posting at this time. We also have a legal assistant for the city. That one is $21.95 an hour and is also a continuous posting. We have a program operations director for NMSU in the College of Engineering. That one begins at $67,000 and the posting closes on March 23rd. We have a sales associate at Petco. That one starts at $14 an hour. Posting closes on the 22nd. Building attendant and facilities and services at Doña County. That one starts at $15 an hour and the posting closes on the 23rd. We also have an order replenishment merchandiser for Coca-Cola. That one starts at $16.75 an hour and the posting closes on the 26th. Just a quick reminder, for the month of March, we have Community of Hope Job Readiness. That's available to anybody that's out there at the Community of Hope for resume assistance, job search, and anything that is needed in their career path. We also have a couple of other events going on, one in El Paso for veterans, our Mock It Till You Rock It for our juniors and seniors here in Las Cruces, the Las Cruces Public Schools. For that one, I will say the invitation is open for interviewers. We need mock interviewers. Anybody can come and help us out with that. You will sit with a junior or senior. We have the whole setup. We have the questions and everything. You'll give them the interview, give them the feedback, and teach these kids all those good interview skills. So please, if you're interested, look on employeenm.com for more information. You can register as an interviewer. And then the very next day, we'll have our job fair at the Convention Center. This year, we are focusing on veterans, and it is open to the public, but we're going to do veteran focused. So we're going to do that in coordination with our Hiring Heroes event that we usually hold. So look forward to posting more about that one later. But again, if anybody's interested in any of those local events, go on to Employee NM and you can find more information. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Sarah.
Yes, sir.
Next is Pets of the Week with Carol.
Good afternoon. I'm Carol Nilsson with the Animal Services Center of the Mesilla Valley, Digital Content Specialist. Just as a reminder, Dog and Cat of the Week, when they are promoted for the week, they are available at no cost. And if you're looking at an animal in a foster home, please contact the center for a meet and greet before you come on in. So this week we have Fish Sticks, our Cat of the Week, 90601. I'm a sweet and affectionate kitten under a year old, and I'm ready to find my forever home. From the moment I arrived, I've been winning hearts with my friendly, playful personality. During intake, I was purring, headbutting, and even making biscuits. What can I say? I love attention. I've only been at the center for a short time, so the staff is still getting to know me, but one thing's for sure, I'm curious, cuddly, and full of love. And then we have our Dog of the Week, Dice, 71249. I've been at ASCMV since I was just a puppy, and I'm still waiting for my perfect home. I might be a little shy at first, but once I get to know you, my true personality shines. I love to run, play, and of course, enjoy some tasty treats while I build my confidence. I do best in a home where I can be the only pet. That way I can soak up all of the love and attention with a little patience and quiet, loving environment. I know I'll be the wonderful companion. And to just highlight a few of our long-term residents, any pet that has been at ASCMV for 3 months or more is available at just $25. Dora has now been at our center for 419 days, Alice 272 days, Luna 262 days, and Tony 255 days. And then this coming weekend, we will be at the farmer's market from 10 to 1, so stop by and visit with our pups, find a companion, or also just help socialize them. So, and did want to share one final bit of exciting news, that one of our pets of the week that we promoted through City Council, they actually found out through City Council and came and adopted our dog, Julietta. So thank you for all of your support for us. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Carol. Next is conflict of interest. Does any member of city council, city manager, or any member of the city staff have any known conflict of interest with any item on the agenda?
None.
None, Graham.
None.
Next, we'll go into public participation. Allow up to 3 minutes, no pending litigation or items that are on the non-consent. And Katrina will be up here to usher and help you get to the podium.
Robert Lee Butler, B-U-T-L-A-R, Las Cruces. I'm going to start off very positive, and then I'm going to go in the body, and then I'll close with the divine closing. I'm here to talk about the Holy Trinity. I said three. First in line, Chief Tory, man, is a impeccable genius. Next in line is Chief of Fire. He going to the moon with Chief Tory. I will be the first president to go to the moon and to return with the help of Elon Musk. Now I'm going to go in the body. Mayor, may I address your council, please? Councilor Flores, where are you? You have my vote. And thank you, and hallelujah. You win, you really, are you from Cruces or not? It doesn't make any difference. I think you're from the Cruces. You will be a two-term governor of New Mexico because you're a woman. W-O-M-Y-N. Now, this is very important. I had a very illustrious 3 weeks. Thank you, Chief Dory and the staff. I flew because of Andy Carver with Mountain View. She's directing the whole show. Andy Carver. Don't need to go wrong with her. I wanted to say that there are a lot of outstanding people. The outstanding people are the ones that don't drink vino. If you don't drink vino, you are outstanding. I will start with the governor, Dave Time Warren, number 1, governor of New Mexico. Number 2, Hugh Delvey, number 3, my friend, Kenny, Mike Castillo, Kenny, and number 4 is Kelly O'Connell. Now, I think with the president, okay, I'm through. Thank you very much, Mayor.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Council, and those watching online. I'm Lynn Moorer. I formerly practiced environmental law in Nebraska. I'm what Councilor McClure, my counselor, regards as just riffraff, simply because she disagrees with me on the issue I will discuss today. I've recently learned that she considers a lot of good Las Cruces citizens who provide comments to you as just riffraff, in her words. I'm proud to be in that discarded category, along with the other good people of Las Cruces. 4 months after the original letter in English was sent out to property owners in Las Cruces announcing the new lead and copper rule improvements, a letter has finally been set out in Spanish. Unfortunately, the letter and the destinations to which it directs citizens to find information are flawed. Not a single website to which the letter directs readers is in Spanish. This means that Spanish-only readers who have computers and try to hunt down any of the websites will find they're shut out of the information on them. No directions shows Spanish-only readers how the page might be translated. Someone who called the number listed in the letter experienced a 16-minute wait before a live person came on the line. This person did not speak Spanish. There was another 2-minute hold before a Spanish speaker came on the line. I don't know many busy people who are willing to wait 18 minutes on hold. The Spanish-speaking utilities person then made statements inconsistent with information previously issued by the city. The letter says that by calling the number, the caller can obtain information about potential financing solutions to assist property owners with replacement of lead service lines. When the caller asked about financial help, they were told, "The letter doesn't say you get any financial assistance." This contradicts what the letter plainly says and is inconsistent with what EPA requires. So the caller was turned away with no help. The utilities person also said that the city is testing city-owned pipes only, not privately owned pipes. This is inconsistent with the rule and not what utilities personnel stated during the November 18th City Council briefing. At that time, the representative said that the city would test all unknown pipes. So after an 18-minute wait to speak to a Spanish speaker, the caller was provided information that does not match the information in the letter, nor does it comply with the rule. Plus, they were given information that contradicts what utilities personnel said at a previous public meeting. This is abysmal performance by the city. It adds to the deficiencies outlined at previous city council meetings regarding the questionable performance of utilities personnel. This includes the inadequate technique the city uses to determine what pipes are made of, a technique that goes to the heart of whether the city is accurately identifying all lead piping that must be replaced. It's concerning that the city seems to be demonstrating that it is both incompetent and uncaring about whether it fully complies with the new lead and copper rule improvements and whether it truly meets the public health needs of all those who drink Las Cruces water. Thank you.
I'm Tito Marquez. After 3 months of refusal to do so, the notification letter regarding EPA's new lead and copper rule has now been sent out in Spanish. La comunicación de la ciudad sobre la nueva norma sigue apestando a trato desigual. The city's communication about the new rule continues to reek of unequal treatment. The letter relies heavily on links to websites to spell out information. The glaring problem is one that has been brought to the city management's attention previously. None of the websites are in Spanish. Not one word. No non-English reader is given any clue as to how to translate the page. The place to click just says English. Few non-English readers will be able to understand that. On top of that, many non-English speakers don't have computers. They might have a smartphone. The setup of the city's website makes it difficult to navigate on a smartphone. I can't see any non-English speaker being willing to try to navigate it. City Manager Ikani has been proudly talking about a little video the city created to show how to determine what your pipe is made of. This video continues the biased treatment of Spanish speakers. The video is entirely in English. The upshot is that a significant chunk of information about the new lead and copper rule continues to be inaccessible to Spanish-only speakers in Las Cruces, a majority Spanish community. The fact that City Manager Ikani still, after 3 months, fails to assure that Spanish-only speakers are treated equally and have the same access to all the critically important information regarding public health as English speakers now seems intentional. This serious injustice must be rectified. If the city uses a website, it must be redesigned to make it as clearly understandable in all respects for Spanish-only readers as for English readers. To fully inform Las Cruces water drinkers who don't have computers, the city must send out much better designed letters that spell out information in more detail using visual aids, as well as providing more clearly written text. Es difícil creer que la ciudad de Las Cruces no puede hacer un trabajo mucho mejor al comunicar toda la información importante relacionada con esta nueva regla. Otras ciudades lo hacen. It's hard to believe that the city of Las Cruces can't do a much better job of communicating all the important information related to this new rule. Other cities do. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Margarita Porras, and my address is 230 Mojave, Sea Shadows Trailer Park. Back in September, we got a letter that we're gonna have a fee of HOA of, I think it's like $80, I'm not too sure. But I've been here since 2016, and we never had this issue before. They put in gates that they haven't been working for over a month. They worked, they're like to go out from the trailer park, but they don't work to go in because they're broken the whole time. So we have to pay this fee. It's 24 homeowners of this trailer park. This company is gonna be making roughly $20,000 a year for these 24 homeowners. So I don't think it's fair for us to have to pay, since a lot of the owners are low income, fixed income, Social Security income. So I don't think it's fair for us to be paying these fees for an old trailer park. My daughter has a gated community, beautiful gated community, new houses, new gates, beautiful, you name it. If you go by Sea Shadows and you see the trailer park, we don't have a nice park, we don't have a swimming pool, we don't have anything. That park, nobody uses that park because there's nothing except for the tables and the trash cans. That's it. So I ask for you guys to look into this issue and help us out. Melissa's here too, and I would appreciate it if you can help us with this issue. Thank you very much.
Ma'am, if you can leave your name and your information with the clerk, and that way we can follow up and get back to you.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name's Jim Hurst, and I want to talk about what the wall of separation of church and state means. It means that the church has no authority in or over our government. It means that the Bible is not grounds for public policy or law. It means all beliefs have equal status before the law, even atheism. If separation of church and state is truly observed, the state would neither affirm nor deny the existence of God. Yes, I realize that the recognition of God is a common practice in America today. I recognize that it's even in the New Mexico Constitution. But I also declare that it is a contradiction to the sentiments of our state and national constitutions. Many of these traditions began at our founding in the late 18th century. Fortunately, religious beliefs are not the same now as they were at the beginning of the 21st, then as they are in the 21st century. We are free to discard the religion and religious rituals of the past. They are not sacred. American religious beliefs have changed. Traditions are ours to make or break as we choose. Why is the principle of separation of church and state so important? The first right mentioned in the Bill of Rights is the Non-Establishment Clause. Congress shall make no law respecting the establishment of religion. It protects our government from being entangled in religious disputes, from being co-opted by those who use their offices to promote religious beliefs and interests. What does all this mean to the City Council? It means that you should give no weight to religious privilege. Claims that America was founded on Christian principles, that our founders were Christian, that the USA is a Christian nation, and the like are examples of claims of religious privilege. If you honor the First Amendment, then you can give them no weight as you deliberate laws and policies for our community. That is, if you intend to honor your commitment to the Constitution. That's what our Constitution says, and it's what our founders meant. Don't let the dominionists, the Christian nationalists, and MAGA tell you otherwise. Thank you very much.
Mayor, Council, Juan Garcia. I would like to thank Councilor Caron for her comments during the last meeting regarding citizens should demand more from public officials, even if they vote for them or not. I would appreciate that comment. New Mexico progressive politicians consistently vote along ideological lines rather than for the whole community interest. Recent examples, they tried to restrict legal gun ownership again, SB 279, and burden gun store operations, SB 318. They pushed to normalize abortion as a pregnancy outcome option to our teens by adding to middle school education curriculum, SB 258. They watered down the omnibus crime bill, HB 8, that was passed only when the governor intervened. Follow the trail of votes over the last few years, and Representatives Ferrari, Rubio, Cadena, Lara, etc., consistently favor lax laws favoring the criminals instead of all the victims of crime. So if we're disappointed with the results of the crime bills, we shouldn't be. There is a pattern. Elections do have consequences, and we're paying for the last elections. They blocked HB 104, which would have increased penalties for crimes against police officers in the execution of their jobs. In my opinion, there was a wrongful conviction of an LCPD officer for executing his job. I have followed this case, relying on published articles from the time it happened. Actions have consequences. Had there not been a theft or resistance to the police when this incident occurred, we probably wouldn't be speaking on this today. From K Fox today, why the refusal of the court to allow toxicology results into the trial? If in fact the deceased was high on meth, that could be a game changer, since it is well established meth may cause violent behavior. The following is a quote from K Fox. Officers who make a split-second decision to protect themselves or their partners, now they could be charged, convicted, and sent to prison. How does that make sense? We trusted the justice system to do the right thing, to protect officers who follow their training, who do their jobs. But in my opinion, this was political. And I think a lot of people in this community feel the same way. And this is from Mrs. Lumford, and this was in today's K Fox article. We, myself, agree and support the effort to overturn what we also consider to be a wrongful conviction. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mayor and City Council. My name is Eddie Thomas. I want to ask you why you are hell-bent on destroying the American dream. Of course, I'm referring to your new zoning code ordinance that eliminates single-family residences in Las Cruces proper. What do you have against us that you have such disregard for the very people that pay the lion's share of property taxes? What did we do to deserve your disdain? It is a misconception that the self-contained apartment/shopping strip neighborhoods you hope to create will produce less carbon emissions. Apartment dwellers drive cars too. They also are much less likely to own electric cars as they are expensive. Do you plan to install charging stations in the parking lots of every complex? That will surely add to the cost of rent. Do you think apartment dwellers all drive bicycles or walk to work and school? You have made some serious miscalculations and false assumptions. Concentrating the population in stacked dwelling units will only increase the traffic and congestion in that area. Why don't you just continue permitting apartment complexes in the outlying areas of the city and leave us single-family home dwellers alone? I have nothing against apartment buildings as long as you don't destroy single-family neighborhoods to do it. Single-family homeowners bought their homes on the premise that the neighborhood they bought their homes in would remain single-family neighborhoods. You are essentially reneging on the deal we struck when we purchased our homes. The relative peace and quiet and safety in the neighborhood is part of the deal. Now you're changing the terms. That's not right. Owning a home is the hallmark of the American dream. Living in a rented apartment is not. The truth is, nobody on this dais knows what effect this is going to have on property values, but I can assure you it's not good. Why can't you just create the code you want for apartments with shopping enhancement without eliminating the one for single-family home neighborhoods? We want separate residential and commercial zones just the way they are. We don't all think like you. This is something that should be put to a public vote to let us decide if we want. We want our freedom and independence to be homeowners. This is what America has always been about. Don't destroy it. Stop being bullies. It is just short of tyranny to eliminate a class of residents in favor of another. We are not racists. We are hardworking Americans of every color and creed.
Hi, my name is Raquel Gonzalez, and I'm one of the owners of the Zia Shadows space over there, like the other lady. And I'm here because I received a letter also, and I'm not willing to pay anything to them because I bought this property 20 years ago, and in 20 years they haven't asked me for nothing. I know these people are new owners, and that's what they're trying to do, charging us for, because they're gonna do a swimming pool, because they're gonna use this. I'm not willing to pay them because since all that time I've been owner, nobody's bothering me with that. Plus, I pay my taxes. They don't pay my taxes. I do pay them. So if they keep going on that idea, I don't know. I may sell it or I'll do whatever I have to do. But I'm I'm with these people, and we're not willing to pay nothing. I'm sorry about that, but yeah.
Again, thank you, ma'am. If you could leave your name and address
Sure.
information with the clerk, so
Sounds
we
good.
can follow up.
Thank you. Mhm.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, my name is Lise Grande. A lot of changes are underway in the United States. We're seeing every day hundreds of executive orders and actions being taken in Washington which have a direct impact on the financing of the services and the programs that many of us depend on. The impact is at the state level, it's at the city level. It's very hard for a lot of us who are concerned citizens to understand what those changes mean for us. I've looked on a number of the websites that relate to Las Cruces, trying to see what an executive order that was issued last week by the new administration in Washington means for us here. You can't find that information, but there are other cities that are doing a better job of that. And so I would like to raise for the consideration of the council the responsibility to help educate those of us who live here on what the new executive orders, the new steps that are being taken in Washington mean for all of us. Thank you for considering that.
Yes.
Hi, my name is Melissa Rhodes, and I'm also one of the families that own a home within Sia Shadow Mobile Homes. And the problem is that Sia Shadows was purchased by Three Pillar Communities, which is an investor company. Sia Shadows consists of 178 units. This investor company owns 154 of these units. Since Three Pillars owns most of the properties, we, the 24 families that own the remainder of the properties, have lost all our rights within Sia Shadows. Our voice and our vote no longer count. At any moment, Three Pillars can increase the price of their HOA fees to a monthly amount that is unreachable to the 24 families, and there are no laws to stop them. That is why we need our government to step in and sponsor a bill or create regulations for these types of situations. We demand protection for New Mexican homeowners whose properties fall under the New Mexico Condominium Act. We believe that Sia Shadows is the testing ground when it comes to rich corporations buying large quantities of homes within these types of neighborhoods. I invite all of you to come take a drive in Sia Shadows and see for yourself if this neighborhood lives up to the expectations of an HOA. First off, the gates are broken, and these gates have only been running for a month. Now Three Pillars wants to charge us for repairs or possible replacement of a job they did not get done correctly in the first place. And that is not right. Since Three Pillars uses employees, equipment, and the office to run their private rental business, I have requested documentation to ensure we are only paying for the common elements, and our money is not going to help them run their private business. They have not provided any of the information that I originally requested on January 7th. I have reached out to the city, county, state, Angelica Rubio, Gabe Vasquez, the Las Cruces district attorney, the attorney general in Santa Fe, and we just got the runaround. We get sent off by these people to Legal Aid, Southern Poverty Law, HUD for help, and then these organizations end up telling us that they cannot help homeowners in these situations. The burden is then placed on us hiring expensive attorneys that end up just taking our money and not doing anything. We need this to change, and we demand that our government protect taxpayers' homes from fraudulent situations like the one we are living in. There is no way the city of Las Cruces can claim that they are addressing the housing crisis if it is not addressing the uncomfortable elephant in the room, which is the investor companies buying up homes and threatening to take away New Mexican homes. It is important to mention that of the 24 homes affected, the majority belong to seniors who live on a limited budget. We are here today for you to give us solutions and not send us knocking on other doors for help.
Ma'am, I'll ask you also to leave your information with the clerk. Thank you.
My name is Josh Allen. I live at Zeal Shadows as well. To shine some light on things, I've lived there 22 years. For like the last 12 years, we haven't
Sir,
had HOA.
sir, could you raise up, yeah, so we can speak directly into the microphone, we can hear you.
Can you hear me now? So for 22 years, I've lived there. Last 12 years, we haven't not had a HOA. So now we have a HOA, and they're demanding all these fees. So all these years, we've lost all the amenities. We're considered a condominium, which we're not. It's a trailer park. We did used to have common areas, which was a clubhouse, a playground, and a pool. The pool has been filled in. We're not allowed to use the clubhouse. There is still a playground. So they're asking for all these fees, especially these elderly people are on a fixed income. It's going to keep raising and raising. So we did have a meeting. We all voted, which we have our 20-something votes, and the guy pompously says, well, I own 157. I submitted yesterday. I'm the president. So I don't see how they can keep raising and raising these fees without us having a say. And that's where we're at. Thank you.
All right, thank you. If you also want to leave your information, thanks.
Good afternoon. I am Mrs. Maria Cortez. I live too in Sea Shadows. This condominium act that we have now was
Ma'am, can you speak directly into the microphone? Yeah,
yes.
lower it. Thank you.
Okay.
Está
This
bien, gracias.
condominium act was created without any regulations. We want a change. In some articles, we need the city and the state government help to us as citizens from Las Cruces with living with a low income. Several of us living only when the Social Security check, like myself, only receive a month $825 for all month. And they are asking now for me to pay $67 a month. And the life from this community homeowners association, it changed because we are living every day when fear treats, thinking if we are going to have a home in the future, if we are not able to pay what they are asking for us to pay every month, that this amount is going to be rising forever they want the amount. We will have to choose between to eat or pay the money they asking to pay us for us to keep our home safe. All about this condominium act is a fraud, extortion, abuse, taking a trailer park when low-income residents under condominium act cover up like it was a family community. We demand you, the city, to make change in the articles because they are not transparent when us. Since they start living, bought the property, the money, and we, like now the Condominium Act is so we hope you can help to us like me. I am an old person that lives with the Social Security check. And besides that, I am old. You know, I have also diseases like in my kidney. They are not working. Only,
Ma'am.
you know, you start with kidney problem.
Okay, ma'am, aquí por favor. If you can leave your information with the clerk here, and we're going to try to see what we can do.
Thank you very much.
Next is the acceptance of agenda.
Move to approve.
Second, Graham.
This is on a motion to accept the agenda as presented. Counselor McClure?
Yes.
Counselor Matisse? Yes. Counselor Graham?
Yes.
Counselor Curran?
Yes.
Counselor Flores?
Yes.
Counselor Bencomo?
Yes.
Mayor?
Yes.
Thank you.
So first on the agenda is 7.1, resolution number 25-0101, a resolution to authorize the filing of applications with the Federal Transit Administration.
Move to approve, Graham.
Second, Corin.
Good afternoon, Council. This particular resolution is a requirement that we have from the Federal Transit Administration. What it does is it, get the keyboard down here where I can control it. What it does is it allows the person in the position of the, excuse me, I need to go back. The person in the position of the city transit director to submit, execute, and administer FTA grants. And administering is writing the grants, submitting the grants, to doing all the grant reporting in the FTA's grant management system, maintaining required documents such as civil rights documents. This resolution also allows an acting city transit director to be designated whenever the city transit director position is vacant. And it does not affect any existing internal city grant processes or for actions requiring city manager or council approval. This updates an earlier resolution from 2002 when I first came to the city. And really the only updates to it is it reflects the change in the title of the position I have. It was Transit Administrator back in 2002, and now it's City Transit Director. And it removes reference to any specific FTA grant management system because those changed through time. And in 2002, it was a different system at that time. We do need to request a minor amendment before council approves this. This was subsequently reviewed by city attorney office, and we need to do a little citation of the New Mexico statute that gives the city authority to do this action. That's NMSA 3-52 -4, and that empowers municipalities to create public transit services under the state's municipal transit law. And that empowerment specifically includes the authority to enter into binding agreements with U.S. agencies, including grant funding agreements. In the resolution, in the first paragraph, that amendment would be the part you see in red where it says pursuant to NMSA 1978, section 13, -52-4 would precede that last sentence. And with that, I will take any questions.
All right, thank you, Mike. Are there any questions?
I move we amend this resolution to include the pursuant to NMSA statement that was alluded to prior before approval.
Mike, can you pull that screen back up so I can read the, can you pull that screen back up so I can read the amended wording? Yes, I did. Yeah. Okay, so this is on the motion to amend Resolution 25-101 to add the wording pursuant to NMSA 1978, Section 3-52-4 in the last sentence. Counselor McClure?
Yes.
Counselor Matisse? Yes. Counselor Graham?
Yes.
Counselor Cran?
Yes.
Counselor Flores?
Yes.
Counselor Bencomo?
Yes.
Mayor?
Yes. Is there any, Corinne? Counselor Corinne? Yes.
I don't have questions, so I actually would defer to my colleagues if you have questions about this first. But I actually want to, don't worry, we're not going to grill you, Mike. I just wanted to take a minute. This is sort of in a part and parcel of this, but also having Mike here at the podium, I really want to just say, give a little roast. No, it's not roast format. Mr. Bartholomew is retiring this very shortly, and I just want to sort of give a little homage of appreciation. I serve on the Transit Advisory Board, which I've really enjoyed and have appreciated getting to know you, but just a few things about Mr. Bartholomew, who I'm very sad to see go, but I know you're on to good retirement-related things, but he has degrees in anthropology, Becky Graham, so just like us, you know. Also a fellow Wildcat from the University of Arizona, so I'm here for that. He started working as a driver in senior programs in the city of Pullman, Washington, a long time ago that I won't reveal, and came to the city of Las Cruces in 2002 when this change that you alluded to about the title came to be, and has served as Roadrunner Transit Director for 23 years. In this, Mr. Bartholomew has led through extraordinary change, technological advances. I think there was a lot of paper in 2002. I don't know. I was barely alive then. But technology advances have come a long way, including really a bunch of transitions through making Roadrunner Transit way more accessible to people, and growing in both efficiency and internal efficiency for drivers and administration, and external for customers. So extraordinary technological change. You also led through the pandemic, which I know meant you really had to think a lot about the safety of both drivers and passengers, and as ridership has really bounced back dramatically, you've also been thinking about how to sort of bring that ridership in and make sure that drivers remain safe and routes remain fulfilling for folks. So it's been really something to see Roadrunner grow under that. You also supported the city's shift to electrification, which has been an impressive and still ongoing shift, and building the new transit center, which is going to have a grand opening on March 21st. So, and I know that working with Public Works, building a new building is a huge lift for anyone working in city administration. So I thank you for your leadership through that time too. So as a person, you have really focused on making sure that riders of Roadrunner and Vámonos service get the best possible service. I have seen you supporting drivers and administrative folks to better themselves and praise folks that do really life-saving work in our community. So I just wanted to take this moment publicly to thank you for the extraordinary work that you've done. And I'm sure that we'll all get a chance to say goodbye to you, but Roadrunner Transit is extraordinary, and it's thanks to you. So I just wanted to give you some applause.
Thank you, Counselor. Thank you. Very kind of you.
That's it.
Anyone else? No, thank you for sharing that, Corinne. I say the same thing, Mike. You've been a tremendous asset to transit, to the city. Trivia, Mike and I were hired by the same director way back when. So it was pretty interesting, pretty neat, good conversation between us. But thank you, Mike, for everything.
Thank you.
Christine?
This is on the motion to approve Resolution 25-101 as amended. Counselor McClure?
Yes.
Counselor Matisse? Counselor Graham?
Yes.
Counselor Cran?
Yes.
Counselor Flores?
Yes.
Counselor Bencomo?
Yes.
Mayor?
Yes. Next is item 7.2, resolution number 25-102, a resolution authorizing the City of Las Cruces to accept grant awards for various city departments.
Move to approve grant.
Second, Gorin.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Councilors, City staff, and public. My name is Joe Padilla, Budget Analyst with the City of Las Cruces. Today, I'm presenting a resolution to accept various grants on behalf of the city. The New Mexico Department of Transportation's Aviation Division has awarded the City Manager's Office a grant of around $157,000 to fund the airfields marking and striping project. This grant requires a matching contribution of around $17,000, which is already allocated in our budget. The New Mexico Department of Transportation's Aviation Division has amended the Rural Air Service Enhancement Program grant, increasing the original allocation to the City Manager's Office by $1 million, bringing the total grant amount to $4.5 million. This amendment requires a matching contribution of $100,000, which is already allocated in our budget. The Rural Air Service Enhancement Grant supports regional air services at the Las Cruces International Airport. The Department of Justice Office of Justice Program has awarded the police department around $70,000. This funding will be used to equip police cruisers with ballistic windshields. This allocation is split between Doniana Sheriff's Office at around $23,000 and the remaining $46,000 to the Las Cruces Police Department. This initiative aims to create a safer environment, reduce violent crime against first responders, and protect those dedicated to public safety in Las Cruces. Before you are your council options, and I stand for questions.
Thank you, Joe.
Yes, sir.
Councilor Flores?
Thank you. And thank you, Joe.
Yes, ma'am.
So on page 4, the amount of $69,882, is that going to be enough to outfit the entire all of the vehicles that police officers use?
Mayor and Councilor Flores, no, to answer your question, Ms. Flores, it'll equip around 13 windshields because each one costs around $3,500, and that includes installation.
Whoa. Okay. Well, I can't vote no on that.
Well, it's
I
a
wish-
start. It's a good start, so hopefully
Yeah.
we can get more funding
Hopefully.
eventually, and that'll start getting those ballistic windshields in.
Great. Thank you, Joe. Thank you,
ma'am.
Mayor.
Seeing no other questions. Christine?
This is on the motion to approve Resolution 25-102. Counselor McClure?
Yes.
Counselor Matisse?
Yes.
Counselor Graham?
Yes.
Counselor Cran?
Yes.
Counselor Flores?
Yes.
Counselor Bencomo?
Yes.
And Mayor?
Yes. Next is item 7.3, resolution number 25-103, resolution amending FY 2025-30 capital improvements program.
Move to approve.
Second, Graham.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mayor, City Council. My name is Cynthia Lamillo, CIP Manager with Planning and Implementation, and I'm here to present a couple of CIP amendments for the fiscal year, for the current fiscal year. So I do have two main types of amendments. The first type is those related to budget adjustments, and those are majority of the ones are presented in this packet. The adjustments were presented and approved by council at the last council meeting, February 18, and we're presenting them today so we can make the corresponding CIP adjustments so that the CIP document reflect those recently approved changes. So the upcoming 5 slides that I have here for you correspond to all of those budget-related CIP amendments. This is page 1 out of the 5. This is page 2. This is page 3 of amendments. This is page 4. And this is the last page. Again, these are amendments that were presented and approved at the last City Council meeting. And the second set of amendments are non-budget related items. We have 2 projects that have been completed and are going to be removed from the CIP document, and 3 that we are adjusting just their name titles. And these are all of the amendments that we're presenting in this round. And with that, we have your council options, and we have staff for each department if you have any specific questions.
Thank you, Cynthia. Any questions? Councilor Flores?
Thank you, and thank you, Cynthia. You know what I would like to see? I don't know if anybody else does, but it would be wonderful to have pictures of these improvements to show, all the work that goes into it. I use Madrid Avenue, and that's been under construction for a long time. And I think it would be wonderful for the community to see how long all of this takes, because some of these projects are just like multi-million dollars. I mean, and then over the course of the life of our roads, it'll be more. So anyway, I just a request, and thank you so much for your presentation.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you for the feedback, Councilor Flores.
Okay, thank you. Seeing none other, Christine?
This is on the motion to approve Resolution 25-103. Councilor McClure?
Yes.
Councilor Matisse?
Yes.
Councilor Graham?
Yes.
Councilor Cran?
Yes.
Councilor Flores?
Yes.
Councilor Bencomo?
Yes.
And Mayor.
Yes. Next on the agenda is board appointments, and there are none. Notice of proposed ordinance, none. So we'll move to city council member board reports and comments. So we'll start with Councilor McClure.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to say that I've been working with the Zia Shadows people for a bit, and it is sort of a hard line in terms of city versus state. But if there is anything we can do to try to help them, I know we collected the information, but it is to kind of puzzle that out with them, that would be helpful. I also wanted to thank staff, Sonia and Anthony and Vanessa from facilities, who have been engaging with me to kind of do the tour of some of our facilities. Specifically municipal court. I now am under the belief that we should probably make a comeback on wood paneling. It's actually kind of nice, I like it. But seeing what kind of conditions we have them in is hard to see. And that too, I was looking at some of the different facilities. We have the old MRBA building and one off of El Paseo, and whether or not we could build an emergency shelter of some sort, if that's a need that our city has when we do discuss unhoused. That lead me to think, how do we fund that? Because in conversation, we don't want to drop the ball on something that we want to sustain for a while. So I think I would like to ask staff if we can start having discussions on the GRT and where that funding might go. And I know it might seem kind of premature, but to at least get a lead up so that we're all kind of on the same page. So that's what I have. So yeah, that's all I had. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Matisse.
No, I very much concur with what Councilor McClure has just brought up. I'd like to have some type of serious workshops on where the GRT is going to be obligated to and how it's going to be spent. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Graham.
Thank you. Add my voice, also interested in GRT. I know that we're not actually starting until July 1st, and then I know Dr. Torres has taught me a lot, but not enough, about city economics and how soon we would get a sense of what we can anticipate year by year, but I would love to be involved in those conversations. The only other thing I had, thanks to LCPD for a great Mock on the Block event at Young Park last week. Special thanks to Grace Tejas and Katrina for following up so quickly with the questions I had about the Post-it notes that community members were sharing their thoughts and concerns and suggestions. But it was a great event, and there were a lot of dogs there. And any event with a lot of dogs, it's a plus. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Councilor Corain.
Thank you. I just want to again elevate the Lead and Copper meeting tomorrow afternoon at 6 p.m. here, which will have Spanish interpreters as well. And people will be able to ask questions of state environmental health experts and have a conversation more than we typically can have at a city council meeting. And I also just want to sort of let folks know that the legislature is, as was alluded to, continuing to do a number of things that are that have various sort of implications, some of which are part of what we talked about as our public safety or other priorities in the legislative session, and then other things that have come up which are really interesting. I think the legislature is considering a number of statewide housing-related ordinances that would basically preempt realize in some ways. So I think paying close attention to what's happening in the state legislature and how that reflects our ongoing sort of priorities that we've established in our conversations, I think is really critical. And I appreciate all of my colleagues who have been giving a ton of inputs, sharing, being on call for legislators when they have questions. I know that that isn't necessarily something the public sees, but is something that we keep up during the legislative session. And also thank you to Barbara and the staff, Larry and other staff members who have given testimony. I think a lot of things are still forthcoming from the legislature, so it behooves us to keep on it and maintain our presence there. So I think that's it for my notes.
Thank you. Councilor Flores.
Thank you. I was just wondering, there was a comment by one of our constituents who, the housing issue and the plan to realize. Is there any way that, is that accessible as a realized plan online where people can access it and see, to understand exactly, people who have come to understand exactly what Realize is all about? I think a lot of people who have come before City Council have this, there's that fear factor, or, that not in my backyard type of attitude, and how Realize is forward thinking. It's not going to, I think people are thinking, oh, my neighborhood's going to be invaded with yada, yada, blah, blah. With I guess people they don't want around, I don't know. But there's that fear. And I think it would be good to have a presentation, not only as to the elements of Realize, but how it would be implemented. That my understanding of Realize is that the city is not going to go into neighborhoods and all of a sudden they're going to have all these things that they don't want. And I think that the plan that is absolutely fabulous is the one that has been planned, was planned like 5 years ago for that lot that the city owns across the street from Mountain View Hospital. And that really shows exactly what Realize is going to do. I mean, that's the actualization. So I think it'd be good if we could have a presentation on that, just to, because so many people are afraid, and I think we should respect those fears and also, allay them. Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem.
Thanks, Mayor. I have a few things on my list, y'all, but since it's only 2:09, I'm gonna just go for it. I don't normally like to respond to a lot of things that happen during public comment. That sometimes feels really unproductive, but today I'm feeling particularly upset by misinformation just continuing to get spread. I think something that particularly bothered me today is, while I'm actually very thankful feel like somebody sabotaged me because they didn't want me to go through my list. While I'm grateful that there are folks here who are advocating for the Spanish-speaking community, I actually take a lot of offense to the folks who are saying there's this like narrative that people who speak Spanish are somehow uncivilized, that they don't own computers or know how to use computers or know how to translate a document. Spanish-speaking community is incredibly resilient. And I know because I come from that community. And so I want to push back against this narrative that somehow we need saviors to come here and say, oh, the poor community, if you're going to be an advocate for the Spanish-speaking community, I highly recommend you change up the way that you're speaking about them because it's highly offensive. I do want to thank staff for putting together the town hall tomorrow. I think it's important. It's very important that I think we've all acknowledged here that lead is bad, that lead in our pipes would be very, very bad. No one is denying that. In fact, we all agree, especially our incredibly talented staff at utilities. I think what's important is that, and I want to speak a little bit more to this as a city of Las Cruces, how we combat misinformation. And we do that by countering the stories that we need to tell. And I think a lot of people don't know that our utilities is a self-sustaining enterprise, meaning that every dollar that we charge a customer comes back to sustain the utility. There are no revenues that are made from the city of Las Cruces utilities department. Everything is sustained, paying staff, buying equipment. There is no revenue. So if other cities are perhaps better off than we are and are doing different things than we are related to the EPA rule, that's amazing. Good for them. That's amazing. You know, when our staff asked, when this first came out and our staff asked the EPA representative, how are we supposed to pay for this? They said, maybe you should raise your rates. That was their suggestion. And because we're not necessarily in the space to do that, because our rates we already have a process for rate setting, that's not necessarily where we're at with the utilities. And so I think it's important for the city to be able to tell the story of who the utility is or whatever department is currently being criticized, which is fair. Criticism is important. I just think it's important that we try to combat misinformation as best we can. Now, on to misinformation regarding Realize. This one particularly is concerning to me. I think, unfortunately, Facebook groups tend to be sort of this place where misinformation just runs rampant. And I'm not saying to put staff or PIO staff there to monitor every single comment that is wrong on Facebook, certainly not. But again, I do think that city manager or PIO office, that we do need to take charge of some of this narrative and how we put it out there. Right now, for example, Legends West Community is talking about how that piece of property we purchased with park impact fees is going to be used for affordable housing. And how scary, affordable housing. That alone is problematic. But what I'm trying to get at is that people are running with this lie, right? I keep calling it misinformation, but essentially are just lies about certain pieces of information. And I just think that we should have a better strategy internally as to how we combat misinformation and tell a better story of what the city is actually doing and handling some of these pieces. Okay, almost done. I was in DC last week. Have the incredible honor of being part of an organization called Local Progress that's for local municipal elected officials that have a particular focus on social, racial, and economic justice, much like National League of Cities, but this group just has a different focus. And we were there and we talked about the local impact, and a public constituent talked about this, the local impact of the current the Trump administration's actions on our citizens. And I think being locally elected, we have the pulse in our community much better than the president ever will, and sometimes even than our federal representatives, right? And so I I do want to encourage us to listen to the stories of how people are being impacted, and then pass them along to Congressman Vasquez, pass them along to Senator Heinrich and Senator Ben Ray Lujan. I think they want to understand how these kinds of actions are impacting our community. Perhaps, I think the person is still here. I really do appreciate you coming to talk about that. I will tell you that in the last, 30-something days of this 40 days of this administration, there's been a total of 81 executive orders. So it would take probably a whole person on staff to try to analyze and address and put out how it's going to affect our community. And I think our attorney's office has no capacity to do that, but I agree with you that there has to be better communication as to how the information that we're putting out to our community about how city operations are being impacted, certainly. But I think maybe one of the things, now that we have a municipal league representative on the council, that I was doing a quick search, and I think a lot of the information is being put out through municipal leagues across the country. And perhaps once the session is over, this is a great conversation to have with the municipal league on how they can help us with capacity around informing the public on how the Trump-Musk administration is impacting the citizens of our community, especially. Wow, okay, off my soapbox. I do apologize if it sounded soapboxy. I just feel particularly upset today by misinformation that doesn't come from a good place, and that only serves to further divide our community and further create chaos and mistrust in local government. And local government is so vitally important now more than ever. I think I want to add my voice to how we start talking about GRT spending, but I would like to put a plug for a participatory budgeting model that really includes a lot of diverse set of voices in our community for the things that are needed and how we should be investing in those at very local neighborhood level ways. The last thing no, that's not true. I'm sorry, I have two more things. I am now the chair of the South Central Solid Waste Authority. I'm very excited about that. And it should be posted already, but we will be looking for a new director of the South Solid Central Waste Authority, and that job posting should be out officially. And then the last thing I wanted to say, and I hope some of the folks stayed, but on the Zia Shadows Mobile Home Park, again, another piece of, I think, education that is important for the city to help get out there for our residents to understand is that the state actually preempts the city on a lot of housing-related things. Rent control, someone was calling us to pass a no-cause evictions ordinance, those kinds of things. The state preempts us from engaging in those kinds of things, so meaning that we cannot pass local policy on them. There is a piece of legislation working its way through the legislature right now around corporate landlords and the way that they have been hiking up fees for renters. And much like this story, it is actually kind of an epidemic. It is happening a lot here in Las Cruces to all renters of all kinds, and it is a problem. I guess I want to put out there for us and the attorney's office, if this piece of legislation does not go through, I would really love it if we could start looking about how the city can actually start challenging state preemption on some of these things. I know that sounds like a really big task, but obviously we have community members here who feel really powerless, who feel like at every turn they go to every agency, they go to every person, and the realities of capitalism are that landlords can charge whatever they'd like. That's kind of how it goes. And so it is so awful to be able to have to tell someone, I can't do anything about that. But if we can take a little bit of power back and say, how do we start, protecting especially our renters and folks in this situation at the local level, I think it's really incumbent upon us to do that. And I really am done now. So thank you. Thank you for your microphone.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. So a few things to mention as well, getting back to accurate information. So tonight at 6:30, put on by Community Development and their new director, Chris Favor, will be hosting tonight a trial on a DRC Development Review Committee to actually get with staff and members of the public to see how the Realize is going to be put into action. So a lot of questions can be answered, a lot of clarification will be presented so that people can see firsthand how this is going to work. So thank you, Chris, for putting that on, and that'll be tonight here at 6:30. Also, we were just awarded a grant from the governor for $350,000. That grant will be to get a survey out to address the individuals that are unhoused, mental, substance abuse, with a lot of stakeholders, working with housing, working with Natalie Green, but also getting a public health coordinator to oversee, to start working on what are the problems out there, working with stakeholders such as law enforcement, fire, judicial courts, the school system, mental health groups, and just getting all the stakeholders together with this grant so that we can see what's going on. So we thank the governor for awarding us that grant of $350,000. So that's up and coming. We'll be working on that. And then again, just a shout out to Visit Las Cruces again for that beautiful video presentation earlier to start our meeting. That was wonderful. And we're going to invite people to come to our community and see it. So the good news I have to share is the Gus Macker is coming back to Las Cruces. It'll be hosted by the Mayfield football booster team that's taking it on, but we as a city will partner with them along with other partners in this community. It'll be in May 17th, so the Gus Macker will be back in town, so they can also see the beauty in Las Cruces. So that's all I had. I'll turn it over to the city manager.
I'm sorry, I got too ahead of myself. Can I add one thing that you made me think of before the big finish?
Let me ask the city manager, is that okay?
Oh my gosh.
No, go ahead, you're good.
I wasn't sabotage. Just because I did actually have a little note in here about Realize, and I'm really glad to hear that there's a workshop this afternoon, and not to put, of course, more work, especially on our very brand new community development director. By the way, congratulations, Chris Favor. That I do hope that there is more sort of like workshops and individual sessions where the members of the public can come and ask for information, whether it's residents who are fearful because of the amount of misinformation, but also the end users, right? The folks that are actually builders, the folks that are actually going to be using the technical manual. I'm already hearing sort of concerns about how there's still, it's still kind of expensive for people to build that missing middle housing, and how we best address those kinds of things. I think it's really important for us to continue to have those conversations, mayor and city manager, on a much smaller, like more sort of conversational type of way. And so I want to thank you for that this evening, and really encourage for us to continue doing that in the best way that we can, and just have a better sort of PIO strategy on how we're telling this story and taking more questions.
No, thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. And yeah, this is one aspect. There can be more, but I think we talked about this a while back, probably almost a year ago, with the PRCs being not implemented anymore or used, that looking for more vibrant work sessions, that we can get the message out and have a work session to give some of that, especially as we see now a lot of misinformation going out there. This is a good way to clarify it, so that's something that I think we all support. It's just finding the right tool, and maybe a work session is also something that we can look at. And with that, I'll turn it over to the city manager.
Thank you, Mayor Enriquez, Mayor Pro Tem Coleman City Council, Ikani Tomopea, City Manager, and just wanted to thank you all for your thoughts and your comments. I did want to share a few things for the community that came out from Zia Shadow Development. Thank you so much. We have taken down your contact information. Already talked with ACM JC, who's reaching out to community development. They will connect with all of those individuals who came today. We are looking, currently staff is looking if there's something in our authority that we can control, and if it's outside of our authority, we will give all the information that we can to assist with this development and give them options and at least some direction. But if it's something that we can control, obviously we will assist as best as we can. Regarding misinformation, Mayor Pro Tem Bencomo, definitely will get with our PIO in all departments. We have discussed this, but I appreciate you bringing the intentionality behind this, and definitely I know Mandy's already thinking about things that we can do to be proactive, and so we'll continue leaving our finger on the pulse here and moving forward on that. Additionally, I do hear you, City Council, as you're sharing about your excitement to start planning for the GRT and where we're putting that. We were planning as staff to have the CIP retreat, which is coming later this week. And then once that is completed, we were going to come forward to you as council and present options to see how you'd like to proceed in the process. I am hearing a diverse public participatory method was something I've heard today. We'll present that along with other options and see how you'd like to proceed with that. But that's something that we were planning to bring after CIP retreat. Again, to the community CIP retreat will be later this week on Wednesday at the Convention Center. That's something happening there. And then after which we'll come forward in a work session and start getting moving on GRT to get direction from you all on council, okay? One second, I apologize. Okay. Just 3 more items. I was going to share about the Copper Lead Town Hall meeting, but I appreciate Councilor Cran already sharing that. That's on Tuesday, coming up tomorrow, March 4th, 6 p.m. here. Thank you so much and I echo what Councilor Cran shared and various from the council as well. I do want to give kudos to staff putting this town hall meeting together and also being able to put together Spanish translated documents. There was a lot of effort putting that out. It's not easy, so I appreciate Dominique, if you can pass along our thanks to the team and to Adrian and to Stephen and to all the team. Thank you, Sonia, for your assistance on that as well. Much appreciated. For quality of life, kickoff meeting for the Brannigan Library renovation and expansion project with Desert Peak Architects and consultant Brad Waters of Godfrey's Associate. Full design process will take approximately 14 months for phase 1 and phase 2. Senior Recreation is working with Senior Olympics to discuss future opportunities to work together to offer services to our community. We will also be advertising the upcoming games at our facilities. Lastly, the goal for GECU and VITA this year was to complete 150 tax returns. As of today, our volunteers have completed 149 tax returns. We will be exceeding our goal. Kudos to the Quality of Life team. And then under 11.1, there was an item, executed pricing certificate for Las Cruces GRT Series 2025. This is something informal for council information. I'm just going to read something to present to you and to the public. The City Series 2025 taxable MGRT bonds priced on February 6th through a negotiated public sale. The interest rate on the bond was 5.43%. The bonds closed on February 20th. The bond sale met all the parameters set out in the ordinance adopted on January 6th. The pricing certificate is in your packet with all the terms of the sale. Thank you. And with that, Mayor, back to you.
Okay, I think that's it. We'll look for a motion to adjourn.
So moved, Graham.
Second.
This is on the motion to adjourn the meeting. Councilor McClure?
Yes.
Councilor Matisse?
Absolutely.
Councilor Graham?
Yes.
Councilor Cran?
Yes.
Councilor Flores?
No, I want to stay here. Yes.
You always do. Councilor Bencomo? And Mayor?
Yes.